Welcome back to Speak English Like a Pro. I'm so incredibly happy you're here with me today because we're about to tackle one of those foundational, yet often surprisingly tricky, skills in English communication: how to effectively introduce yourself. You know that moment, don't you? Whether it's meeting someone new at a networking event, joining a new team, or even just bumping into someone unexpectedly at a social gathering. That split second where you have to say, "Hi, I'm Sarah," and then what? The words can suddenly feel clunky, the perfect phrase escapes you, and that familiar hesitation just creeps in. It's frustrating because it's such a common, everyday scenario, and yet it can feel like a high-pressure performance. I remember those moments so clearly from my own journey. I'd rehearse in my head, try to get every word perfect, but then in the actual moment, my carefully constructed sentences would crumble. I'd end up just saying my name and maybe one or two very basic facts, feeling like I hadn't truly conveyed who I was or made a genuine connection. It's a common struggle, this gap between what we want to say and how we actually manage to say it, especially when the stakes feel a little high. But the good news is, introducing yourself effectively isn't about being extraordinarily witty or having perfect grammar. It's about understanding a few key principles and practicing them until they become second nature, allowing your true personality to shine through. So, let's explore how to transform that moment of introduction from a source of anxiety into an opportunity for confident, genuine connection. The first big secret to an effective introduction is to understand the context and tailor your approach. There's no single perfect way to introduce yourself, because you wouldn't introduce yourself to a new colleague the same way you'd introduce yourself to someone at a casual party, right? Think about where you are and who you're talking to. If it's a formal setting, like a conference or a job interview, your language will naturally be more professional, perhaps focusing on your role or purpose there. If it's a casual social event, you'll want to be more relaxed, maybe sharing a hobby or a shared interest. Before you even open your mouth, just take a quick moment to gauge the situation. This brief mental preparation helps you choose the right tone and content, immediately making you feel more in control and less likely to hesitate. Building on that, once you have the context in mind, the next step is to start with a confident greeting and your name, making eye contact and offering a genuine smile. This seems simple, but it's incredibly powerful. A warm hello, or hi there, followed by a clear "I'm Sarah" or "my name is Sarah," immediately sets a positive tone. That smile isn't just polite. It projects confidence and approachability, putting both you and the other person at ease. And eye contact, even for a few seconds, conveys sincerity and confidence. Many of us, when nervous, might look away, but making that brief connection truly helps. Practice this in front of a mirror, just smiling, looking at yourself, and confidently saying your name. It sounds basic, but it builds that crucial physical and mental comfort with the very first steps. After the initial greeting, the challenge often becomes, what else do I say? And here's where the third powerful technique comes in: sharing a relevant, brief piece of information about yourself and immediately extending an open-ended question back to them. This is the core of a flowing introduction. Don't just list facts. Aim for something that creates a natural conversational hook. For a casual setting, it could be, "Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm really enjoying this event. What brings you here today?" Or, "I'm Sarah, I just moved to this city last month, and I'm still exploring. What are your favorite spots around here?" In a professional setting, it might be, "Hello, I'm Sarah. I work in Taskus, and I'm really interested in today's discussion on any topic. What's your area of expertise?" Notice the key here. You offer a little bit about yourself, enough to create a connection, and then you immediately turn the focus to them with an open question. This shows interest, encourages them to speak, and creates a natural back and forth, preventing that awkward silence. Another powerful secret to making your introduction flow is to think in mini stories or interest nuggets rather than just bullet points of facts. Instead of saying, "I am an engineer," you might say, "I'm Sarah and I'm an engineer. I actually specialize in building sustainable energy solutions, which is something I'm really passionate about." What kind of work do you do? This adds a touch of personality, gives them something specific to latch onto, and makes you more memorable. It's about giving them a window into your world, something beyond just your title or country. Practice turning your usual facts into these little intriguing snippets. If you love to travel, "I'm Sarah, and I spend most of my free time planning my next adventure. Have you done any interesting trips recently?" This makes the conversation dynamic from the very beginning. And finally, to truly elevate your introductions, particularly as you move towards sounding more like a pro, it's about developing a few different go-to opening lines and practicing them until they feel utterly natural and adaptable. Just like an athlete practices different moves, you can practice different introduction styles. Have one for formal settings, one for casual social events, and maybe one for a chance encounter. Rehearse them in front of a mirror, record yourself, and listen back. Notice your tone, your pace. Are you speaking too fast? Are you sounding confident? The more you practice these common scenarios, the less you'll hesitate in the moment. Remember, the goal isn't to perfectly memorize a script, but to internalize the structure and feeling of a confident introduction so that your words flow spontaneously when the time comes. This consistency in practice is what transforms anxiety into automatic, confident communication. So, effectively introducing yourself in English isn't about being superhuman. It's about being prepared, being genuine, and understanding that communication is a two-way street. It's about mastering that initial handshake of words, making eye contact, offering a warm smile, sharing a little piece of yourself that's relevant to the moment, and most importantly, extending an open invitation for the other person to share about themselves. When you do this, you're not just speaking English. You're building connections, and that's truly speaking English like a pro. If this conversation resonated with you, if it gave you some fresh ideas on how to approach your next introduction, please give this video a big thumbs up, share it generously with anyone who struggles with that opening moment, and of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you don't miss any more powerful insights from Speak English Like a Pro.